Hey guys, how are you?
Good, good.
Well,
How have you been during these unusual months?
good, good.
Don't ruin this.
First social event.
Don't put it there.
Well, I didn't have it here. Yeah.
You can make it.
Welcome everybody. We'll be live soon. For now, just enjoy our sign.
Okay.
That's a very nice sign.
You can tell there's no graphic designer on this thing.
I know who that is. Hi, Frank.
Hello. My hoarse, raspy voice is very distinctive. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Frank,
Hey, Jeff.
how you doing?
Good.
Do you have the audio on? Yes.
Yes.
I can't see anything.
I hear Walter on there.
There he is there.
Oh, it must be under iPad.
Yes, he is on the iPad right here.
Yeah.
I think I'll come over to you.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, who's, I don't see everybody.
Well, that's Frank, but I can't see his
Where's
picture.
Frank? I don't see Frank. I hear him. Oh,
Hi,
there's Nutty. Hi, Nutty. Hi, Enrique.
Hey,
Senior.
Put it in the middle, please.
It's
a gallery. I think you can. We won't see her.
Kate, there's Kate.
Yeah. I don't.
We should probably put our food here.
Oh, no.
yo estoy con el teléfono mío.
It's Felipe's parents, Sylvia and
Tuna. This has to be salmon. The king is the salmon. No, Tuna is the king. This is the
When are you bringing that over, Kathy?
what?
When are you bringing
All
that
right.
Hey, Bill.
over? Everybody, hey Frank.
Hey, Bill.
Everybody, how we doing?
We're doing
Hi.
good.
Ready to drink.
I'm taking a survey.
You're not waiting for Felipe and Enrique, are you?
No, I'm taking a survey.
They're
He's
still
already-
out. They're still out delivering. No, no.
oh, there's Ronnie.
I'm gonna open.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey, Ronnie, we haven't met. I'm Bill McIntosh. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
And there you. Good.
Hey,
Kay,
Pear.
hopefully will be joining us shortly. So
That's that one.
Hi, Ronnie.
This is.
Hi.
Where's?
Who else do we have
Not
here?
sure who that was.
That was
Hi,
Pam.
everybody. It's Neil here.
And hi, Neil.
Hey, Pam.
Oh, there's
Neil,
Neil.
Bill McIntosh, how are you?
Say again.
It's Bill McIntosh. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Genevieve.
Hi, everybody.
She's
Hello.
While they're getting all those people, you
Hi,
can
yes,
see
I didn't-
everybody's face like we do for
Bill,
trivia.
Laura?
You see nothing different than you just see it a little bit bigger.
So why are all these people coming up as single?
Because that's the way you spin it up.
Who? Oh,
I'm
Look
sorry.
at- Is your sister with you, Pam?
Yes, she is. She escaped DC. Y'all wear masks here too.
Yeah.
We should run a mess.
Well, I saw.
Okay, everybody, welcome everyone. We're about to get started here.
Okay.
Great.
I am sorry, it's nothing personal, but I'm gonna have to mute you all.
Okay.
Hi, Pam.
Hello.
Pam.
Frank,
Hello,
Frank and
hello.
Ellen, your video isn't on, in case you have it.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think we're adding.
Las palabras fueron avispas,
First video.
ángeles como ruinas cuando te espero.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first episode of Casa Carmen Live. Today's episode is the King, the Pauper, and Nutty sauces. We will be drinking our 2018 Blanco. We're going to be preparing 2 pinchos, our Tuna Ventresca with ají Amarillo and peanut sauce. And then we're going to be preparing our sardines with lemon and olive oil.
Sardines with lemon and olive.
Sardines with lemon and olive oil with our Romesco sauce. Yeah.
Romesco sauce. Welcome, everybody. It's so great to see you. Can everybody hear us okay?
Yes.
Great. Wonderful, wonderful. So before we get started, thank you so much. What we wanted to hear really is bring our bodega into your kitchens, into your living rooms, so that we can spend some time together as we usually do, even if we have to do it this way. So thank you for the support and for joining us. And there's a couple of housekeeping items that I want to mention. The first one is we will be taking questions. Just write them on the chat, please. And we'll try to get to all the questions. You're gonna be muted just because otherwise it gets a little bit frenzied with everybody, kind of with the different noise and stuff. But please do write your questions. We wanna know what you're thinking, and we wanna know what you're wondering, and we wanna be able to answer those questions properly. Also, we're doing a giveaway, which it consists in the following: you take pictures of drinking wine or eating the pinchos or anything related to today's tasting, post them on social media, tag us, and the best picture, we're going to be giving you any of our wines, your favorite Casa Carmen wine. We'll do that by next week. So do support us that way, and be sure to tag us online. And finally is that if you haven't bought your tasting kit for our next tasting for May 23rd, please be sure to do so. It's that one especially is going to be a very special day for us, because we're going to be releasing our 2018 Duende, which is our proudest achievement thus far, or one of our proudest achievements as winemakers. So the next tasting, more than a tasting, is going to be a sort of release party, like wine release party. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, if you were lucky enough to be in our winter wine club dinner, you probably had a glass of it. So yeah, that's coming soon.
So yeah, next week. But anyways, let's get to it. Let's open up the wine. If you guys have the wine, your wine with you, if you haven't opened it yet, now it's a perfect time to do so. If you've already opened it and put yourself a glass, yeah, let's just get to the wine.
Yeah, you could.
Pero-
Read the questions there, right?
Pero no puedo. So today, as many of you know, we had to do a change of with the schedule because the smoked salmon didn't arrive. It was coming all the way from Alaska, and shipping carriers and stuff are all messed up. So we're doing, instead of our third episode, we're doing it first, and then the one of the rosé and the swimming upriver episode we'll do in 2 weeks. That'll be on May 30th, and everything else staying the same. So today we are drinking our 2018 Blanco.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers to that.
Cheers,
Cheers
everyone.
everybody.
So I mean, a lot of you probably know this wine pretty well already. As you know, this one is 90% Gruner Veltliner, 10% Viognier.
Yeah, it was as usual we do the way that we do things is is slowly fermented, cold fermented. So this does is this really preserves the aromatics in the wine. It maintains it kind of fresh and bright, and that is exactly what this wine is. Many of you, I am sure, have tried other Gruner Veltliners. Raise your hand if you've tried another Gruner Veltliner. I just want to do a quick poll. Those of you who are out there. Yeah, not a lot of people, I guess. but
yeah, a lot of you guys probably tried also our 2017 Gruner.
But Gruners in general, what they are characterized by is by this like really bright acidity. Especially Austrian Gruners, I would say, are even more demonstrative of that. This is Gruner is a grape that originates in Austria, and this one is 90% Gruner and 10% Viognier. What is one of the characteristics of Gruner as well that you'll be able to see in this one is very prominent is an aroma of lemon and lime. That's kind of very, very typical of the varietal. So be sure to give it a good swirl and to smell. This is another thing.
Yeah.
If you're not smelling your wine,
you're not drinking
profusely, you're not drinking wine. So,
yes.
So just be sure.
Yeah, get your nose in there.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to. So, okay. So we can start doing a little bit of food, drink, chat.
We're gonna start preparing some food here.
Exactly.
So does anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask about the wine? I know that many of you do know this wine pretty well, but feel free to fire away at any point. One great thing about this wine as well is that it's very good with food, especially with fish, because of that kind of crisp brightness. It really is an excellent pairing for rich dishes like all of the stuff that we prepare, although the tin fish and all this stuff. And we should say something about tin fish for those that don't know what we do, about pinchos and about tin fish. One thing is, what is a pincho? I think that's an important thing to know. It is the typical bar food of the Basque country. What we do here, some of it is pretty traditional, but some of it will be considered a total heresy. So all of those who are watching us in San Sebastian and in the Basque country, we apologize for being heretics, but we really love experimenting, and we also love being kind of a little bit beyond the lines of what is traditional. So we take our freedoms with what we call pincho. And then also the conservas, the tin fish, are really important because most of our menu is that.
It's one of the the three original ways to preserve food. It is one of the most natural ways to do so. Besides like salt drying, just kind of like jamon or smoking. So I mean, this is one of the safest and best ways to preserve any kind of food.
Also, one thing we should say is that with premium Iberian tinned fish, these products they pride themselves in being really small producers that use absolutely no chemicals to preserve the food. Everything is based off of vacuum sealing and heat. and you know they're always preserved either in oil or in vinegar, but everything is totally natural, which is phenomenal, and which is great these days to be able to just really preserve food in a natural way.
Yeah. So today, I mean, we're gonna start with a tuna belly, with the yellowfin tuna belly ventresca. Ventresca is basically the lower part of the belly where it has a little bit more fat, so it's very tender, very flavorful. And you guys have a little bit lighter sauce, the ají amarillo and peanut sauce. Ají amarillo is a Peruvian hot pepper. Which is very, very, very flavorful. So that's where a little bit of our Latin American influence also comes in.
And this is one of the examples of heresy.
Exactly.
Right? But it's good. It's good heresy. We believe.
Yes. So we're gonna start with that.
No se te oye desde abajo. Yeah, you can open up your kits if you have this. You know, this is gonna be the one that is the lighter in color, the one that doesn't say Romesco.
Yes, exactly. This particular brand actually is Jose Gourmet. It's a Portuguese cannery. They do great stuff, and we've been working with them for a little bit already, and we're very happy. They have beautiful artwork too. So
yeah, if you're interested, do go to their website, Jose Gourmet.
Yeah.
They do wonderful stuff, and they also tell little stories about each of their products, which, as you guys know, we're big fans of stories.
Big on stories.
Yeah, big on stories.
All right. Well, you know, if you've been to the wine house here, we always use this. I'm
sure you have one of those at home. So
yes,
now is a perfect
you should
time
always have one.
to take out your torch.
If you want one, actually, you know, JBK has them, so it's really easy to get them. If not, I mean, today we're gonna be using it mainly just for toasting the bread here. Giving it a little bit of toast to the bread always just makes the texture in your mouth, that crunchiness is gonna be a completely different flavor. So yeah, I'm gonna be toasting the bread today with that. Also, the flavor of fire is a very important thing to have. So if you can actually toast the bread on the stove instead of just like a regular toaster, is always better. Or in the grill, even better.
You just melted Enrique's iPad.
I'll try to keep it away from him. So, first of all, I always drain anything that you have in the can, especially if it's just oil. Just because you want to put like fresh, extra virgin olive oil, it's key. When you open the Ventresca, you're gonna see that they have perfect, beautiful fillets. I always try and keep them as intact as possible.
Yeah, take them out of the cans as slowly as you can.
It is not always possible, but you know, a lot of times you can do it. Let me get some spoons.
One thing I should say is, you know, the reason why we named this episode "The King, the Pauper, and Nutty Sauces" is, you know, as you know, the tuna is often considered to be the king of the seas, especially bluefin tuna. But and then sardines are considered to be somewhat of a pauper of the seas. And we here at Casa Carmen, as you know, are very egalitarian. So we think that the king has nothing on the pauper. And they're both absolutely wonderful, and that's what we hope to prove today.
Yeah, sardines and anchovies I think have always been a little bit underrated, but there's something to it. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put the peanut sauce on top of the bread, and then I'm gonna put just a filet on top of it, just laying softly. This sauce particularly, I did it with you know, roasted peanuts, the ají amarillo.
He won't tell you, but he also put some cashews. It's not just
yes,
peanuts.
I did put some cashews. Actually, I did. Yes, they're a little bit more oily, a little bit softer, so it just makes the sauce be a little bit creamier when you blend it. I kind of deep fried some onions as well when I did it. A tiny bit of tomato and a little bit of apple vinegar, which gives it a little bit more of the fruit. And well, it also has passion fruit, which is key
and a little
to our
bit of passion fruit.
Again, the Latin American influence comes through there.
And then the tuna ventresca, which is also very popular in our part of the world, in Ecuador and Peru, in the Pacific coast there. We have also great tuna ventresca. We grew up sneaking downstairs from our bedroom to eat this stuff in the kitchen when Felipe and I were
we would wake
young
up
boys.
in the middle of the night, make sure my parents were asleep, and go downstairs and start playing around
with canned tuna.
Exactly. All right. So yeah, like we had said before, always important to have extra virgin olive oil and salt. If you have mountain salt, even better. Just like the really thin flakes, a little bit larger, it just like really melts in your mouth in a different way. So
much of good flavor is not the ingredients, but the way that the ingredients hit your mouth. And I think this salt really achieves that. It's so flaky. You get these like very long flakes, and you can really feel it.
I think we might need some napkins for this.
And the cool thing, so with this wine again, is that it's so lemony on the nose, and as you know, lemon and seafood go really, really well together. So it's another one of the reasons why we always love to pair it with this.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Are you guys ready?
You can start.
Cheers.
Always wine after. Yep. I like it. That's good.
Beautiful stuff. Oh, careful if you're allergic to nuts.
Yes, we should have said that.
which we hope was evident from the nutty sauces.
Yes. So I'm gonna start opening up the sardines as well. It's always good to have a little bit of everything on the plate to my taste. That way you can take your time, drink the wine, eat a little bit of one piece, eat a little bit of the other one. Also taking time with food and wine is always important.
Also, we did the tuna ventresca with the ají amarillo and the sardines with the romesco, because I think there's kind of a beautiful marriage in each of those separately, but feel free to also mix them up. I mean, they're both fish are going to be awesome with both sauces as well.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do either and you want to do something else, also feel free to do that. I mean, you do whatever you want. This is gonna be great anyways.
Yeah. So the sardines, as you will see when you open them up, they come with a little bit of the lemon rind, which gives it a little bit of a bitterness and acidity that sardines really need and go wonderful with. In this case, we're gonna do exactly the same thing.
More wine, please.
More wine first.
Thank you, sir. Don't think it's always like this. When we're at home, I am the one pouring him the wine.
Yeah, and a lot of time he's the one cooking too. Yep. All right, so we're gonna do exactly the same thing. If you guys don't know about Romesco sauce, Romesco is very, very traditional sauce. It represents the spring. Spring onions and Romesco always go together. It's amazing. There's actually big festivals and stuff like that, especially in Catalonia, where they dip. If you guys were in our wine club dinner last summer, we did it.
We did a calzotada, which is, the calzots that are the green onions that you char in the grill. You dip them in Romesco sauce and you eat them. The messier you get, the better. Is the Catalonian version of steamed crabs.
Yeah, exactly. You're if you don't get there dirty, you didn't eat. So
Yeah.
that is exactly what you need to do.
And Romesco sauce is made with fire roasted piquillo peppers. You can do this just with your regular red bell peppers as a substitute, and it's very easy. You just turn on your gas stove and just put, without a pan or anything, just put the pepper on there.
Yeah, make sure you char them very, very
Let it
well.
burn. Just like flip it over with some tongs or something until the whole thing is black on the outside, and then you just kind of peel that off, and then you have a very kind of tender with the smoky flavor, the kind of the meat of the pepper, and then so you put that in a blender with roasted almonds, with garlic, with we put a little bit of sherry vinegar in it. Sherry vinegar. Yep.
The better the vinegar, the more flavor it's always gonna give, and it's good because you don't have to use a lot, which is good because if you use a lot, the consistency, everything kind of breaks apart.
Yeah. And the sherry vinegar is also a great marriage and a great continuity with kind of what we're doing with the wine here, because I mean we could probably talk for hours and hours and hours about sherry and about sherry vinegars. But there is one of the characteristics of sherry is that they're both like it's nutty flavors, right? So it just goes great with this nut based sauce, with this almond based sauce. So just lay the sardines right on top of the bread.
I am gonna do
repeat.
something exactly. Repeat. I am gonna do something a little bit that I haven't mentioned yet. I am gonna put a little bit of lemon zest on these ones because it's gonna give a little bit of the fresh lemon to the sardines that came. So
also, I will say something. If you have some lemon zest, you can do that. You can also put a few drops of lemon. You know, there's you really can't.
It just gives it a little bit of the acidity that breaks it apart.
Yeah. Ole.
There we go. If you've been to Spain, they put salt and olive oil in absolutely everything, including chocolate.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Salud, everybody. Salud. Cheers. Wow.
These sardines are amazing. How are you guys doing there?
Oh, sorry. Some people were asking about. I'm sorry. I haven't been looking at the questions.
We got distracted.
Yeah. So yeah, no bread. You have to have for the tastings. We'll send you everything that you need, except for the three basics, which are bread, olive oil, and salt. Right. So we'll always be sending you the main things, but you should have those at home yourself. And then I think we've answered this, but I hope you guys are really enjoying these sardines and that they are redeeming themselves from the role of the pauper of the seas.
I'm gonna put a little bit more salt.
Does anybody have any questions about this, about the wine, about any of the processes? I mean, we're happy to talk about this stuff or to answer any questions about it.
Yeah.
Good. Beautiful. Salud.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, guys.
We're too busy eating to ask questions.
Yep, these definitely washes down.
Good there. A couple of other things that we'll say about this wine for those of you. What's that? Somebody trying to ask a question?
I think so. I'm not sure. No.
But if you have any questions, just put them on the chat.
On the chat, it's gonna be easier to read them. Yeah. Great. You were saying something about the.
Yeah, I mean, just something about this wine, which is, we mentioned a lot about the Gruner, but we didn't quite talk about the Viognier very much. That 10% Viognier, if you guys have tried it before, is very aromatic and a bit of a more medium-bodied white, even full-bodied white. So it kind of really complements that and gives the wine a little bit of weight. Yeah, that's and how are you? Any other questions about that, about the wines or about the food? We'll be happy to answer them.
Okay. No. Oh, Mike is there.
Yeah. It's so great to see so many
faces. Yeah, so many familiar faces. That's great.
From far and from close and from everywhere. We really miss seeing all of you here at the wine house, at our bodega, at our tasting room, and really hope to be able to be here together soon again.
Soon. I mean, if everything goes, hopefully soon we'll be able to at least have outside sitting. So hopefully that happens sometime soon, because I definitely miss the whole town.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's very nice to
question.
gather for all of us.
So there's a question about the recipes for the sauces.
Yeah.
We can absolutely share those. Yeah, we can totally share those with you. We
yeah.
hadn't thought about it, but we can totally share those with you. We almost had you make the sauces from scratch.
Yeah, but we thought it might get a little complicated and noisy and everything. But yeah, we can definitely share.
We'll share the
recipes exactly. Send them to everyone.
Also, these videos will be on our website and on Facebook. They'll be recorded and we'll be able to access them anytime. And we'll post the recipes for the two sauces. And for everything else that we do. Yeah. One other thing that I will say is there's a question about what we're drinking again. So we're drinking our 2018 Blanco, which is a 90% Gruner Veltliner and 10% Viognier. It is a wine that is really characterized by its kind of very bright acidity. It's perfect with food to kind of just keep on eating salty and rich foods. And
it's very clean and crisp. So it just like washes down. Sardines, tuna bellies, fatty. You
could also do cheese.
Perfectly.
You could also do
Cheeses
great with cheese. And basically, we try to make wines that allow you to eat more, and food that allow you to drink more, so that you can continue on that endless beautiful cycle.
Yeah.
In terms of the wine making process, just so that you guys know, it's so our winery is in Baltimore. We're a member winery of the Wine Collective. What our philosophy for winemaking is, we always try to do everything as sustainably as possible. We try to make, when we say that we make old world style wines, that means that we have an approach that we like to allow the grapes to disclose themselves, or rather to show in the bottle of wine what the grapes already have within. What people refer to as like minimal intervention approach to winemaking. But we do that coupled with a very close attention to detail. So everywhere from the vineyard to the cellar, there's a way in which we are really obsessive about the attention to detail. You can avoid any kind of faults in the wine, and you produce wines that can maintain that fruit, that bright fruit that we love to see, with quite a bit of that freshness that we also like, and without ever kind of developing some of the negative aspects that we try to stay away in wine. Why we use salt? There's a question about this is great. Granddaughter Ada wants to know why we use salt. Of course, that is a great question that only a granddaughter could really ask, because it goes back to the basics, right? And we're big fans of the basics. Really, salt explodes flavor, right? everything that you cook and anything that you do, you should add salt.
Mhm.
In your pancake batter, you should add salt. In your coffee, when you brew it, you should add a pinch of salt. Put salt everywhere. It just brightens up anything that you do.
It just brings all the flavors. It just expands them. That's particularly why I like the Maldon salt, because it's just like so thin that you feel a little bit of the crunch to it when it's just like freshly put on top of it. But it just like melts and brings out the flavor right under it in a completely different way.
In a completely different way.
In a completely different way.
Cheers. Well, if there's gonna be any more questions, we'll happily take them. If not, we'll start saying, well, okay. There's a question about talk a little more about the Wine Collective and what we're doing there.
Yeah.
The Wine Collective, for those of you that you know, it's an urban winery in the neighborhood of Hampton, in Baltimore, that we founded with our winemaker John Levenberg as our partner. And our whole idea for that project was to make a world-class winery in the middle of the city in Baltimore, where all these network of vineyards around could come together and produce together, with really a commitment to the idea that the whole is more than the sum of its parts, and that what is the remarkable things in life are only truly done together with other people. So that's where we make all of our wines. And we have, a network of vineyards that are our partners that basically we visit every growing season. We work with them to grow the fruit. And then in harvest, we bring all the fruit to Baltimore and vinify it there.
Yeah, how's everybody feeling, eh?
Good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. Well, before we go, one thing I'd like to remind you again of is our next week's tasting. Next Saturday, we'll be doing, the episode is called Classic and Modern. The reason for that is, for that name, is that we're going to be eating some very classic things like jamon and cheese. There's kind of going back to the basics in terms of food, but modern in terms of the wine. And you'll see what we mean. We'll talk about it a little bit more about our 2018 Tinto, which is a kind of full-bodied red and I think a great achievement in terms of winemaking, is a very modern wine because of the approach that it has. It is a wine that focuses on craft above all, on kind of the making of it itself. And we'll talk about all of that next week, but we'll be releasing it for the first time. So it'll be kind of a release party.
Very, very excited about that.
Yeah. So buy your wine, buy your kits for next week.
You can just, call me. My phone number is in Facebook and in our webpage. You can also email me. And I'll get the wine to you.
Or if you're not a Wine Club member, you can get it just directly on the website, and we'll make sure it gets to you. But thank you again. Thank you for everybody. Thanks for being here. So much fun to see you guys. We've really, really, really missed you. We realized how spoiled we were. I think now probably everybody realizes how spoiled we were, and we're just used to seeing each other all the time and hugging each other all the time. And, we really hope we can get back to that soon.
Yeah, and a big thank you, especially during these times. I mean, you've all been very, very, very supportive. And we could not still be here without you guys.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. We send you a big virtual hug.
Yes. Hopefully we can actually hug in person soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was great.
Thanks, everybody.
Absolutely.
Abrazos. Bien hecho.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait for the exit.
We have an exit plan.
We're waiting for the credits.
Exactly, the credits.
Ready?
I go to
It's a quote from
when life is
Hi, Laura.